Hello students, this is Nilofer Miss, your English teacher. Today in this video, we are going to continue with figure of speech. In the previous video, we have taken 7 types of figure of speech. Now in this video, we are going to take first 2 figure of speech, repetition and alliteration. After completing these 2, we will take next 7 figure of speech. Hope you are ready for that. So, without wasting our time, let's get started. So, repetition. Repetition is a figure of speech in which a word or group of words are repeated. It is used to create rhythm and bring attention. Let's see some of the word repetition example. See now the example. The president said, work, work and work are the keys to success. Now you may see that word work is used here thrice to show the importance of the word work. In this example, one word is repeated. Now see the example of group of words in repetition example. See, the politician declared, we will fight come what may, we will fight on all fronts, we will fight for 1,000 years. So in this statement, we will fight, these group of words are repeated thrice to give importance to the meaning of it. Let's see one more example where group of words are repeated. If you think you can do it, you can do it. See now here the words you can do it, these words are repeated. So this group of words is repeated twice to give importance to the meaning. So when you find in the sentence, if the word is repeating twice, thrice, or the group of words are repeating twice or thrice, then it is repetition. Now let's go towards the next one, that is alliteration. Now alliteration is a figure of speech where repetition of same sound of the beginning of words are done. Take the example of it. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Here you can see the sound P is used multiple times. So it is the example of alliteration. Let's look one another example. She sells seashells down by the seashore. Here you can see the sound sh is used multiple times. So it is the example of alliteration. Note that alliteration is dependent on beginning sound of word and not beginning sound of letter. For example, cat is not alliterated with choice, but it is alliterated with kick. So in alliteration, the initial sounds of word are alliterated. Let us quickly revise about these 2 figure of speech. Firstly, it was repetition. Repeated is a figure of speech where a word or group of words are repeated. We saw the examples where the word is repeated and some of the examples we saw where the group of words are repeated. Then we learnt what is alliteration. It is a figure of speech where initial sounds are repeated. And we saw some examples of alliteration also. Maybe I hope you are very much clear with the repetition and alliteration. Repetition, the same words are repeated, while alliteration, the sound is repeated. Let's go further for the next figure of speech. Now the next figure of speech is synecdoche. Synecdoche is a part to represent whole thing, or it is a whole thing to represent a part. What does it mean? It means you are replacing a part to represent the thing itself, or vice versa. A thing is used to show the part of it, to represent a part of it. Let's learn through the example where a part is used to represent whole thing. Those wheels are awesome. Here the word wheels is representing the car. The next example, we need more hands. Here hands means full man we are talking about. So we can say that synecdoche is used here. Now let's see the examples where whole thing is representing a part. For example, England won the World Cup in 2019. Now here England, it is representing the cricket team of England and not the full country. It means England word is used to represent English team. Let's take another example. Can I get your number? Here number means the mobile number and not any other random numbers. We are not talking about any number like 0 to 1000 or 0 to 100. But here we are talking about mobile number. So here we can say that synecdoche is a figure of speech which is used the part to represent whole thing while the whole thing is used to represent a part. Let's look into the next figure of speech, that is metonymy. Metonymy is a figure of speech in which one thing is substituted to the second thing, which is closely associated with it. Or in other words, one object is replaced by other object which is closely related to it or linked with it. Let's look into the example. The crown made a fair decision. Here we are using the crown which is representing the king. Here we are talking about the king. The crown made a fair decision. So here we are using this word for the king and not the crown itself. So here the crown is the example of metonymy here. Let's look into the next example of metonymy. The pen is mightier than sword. Here in this sentence, two words are in metonymy, pen and the sword. Here pen represents the written words. Here pen means not the particular pen but we are talking about the written words. And the word sword represents the military aggression. It means the words are more powerful than the weapons. So we can say that metonymy is a figure of speech where one thing is substituted by another, which is closely linked with it. Now you might have confusion that what is synecdoche and what is metonymy. As in both we are replacing one thing with other. While in a synecdoche, the replaced thing is a part or a whole of that thing. While in metonymy, the replaced word is closely associated or linked with it. For examples, is will's word is used for the car, then this will is used for the whole part of the car. And in the example of metonymy, if crown word is used for the king, so crown is not one part of the king but it is closely related to that person. Hope you got to know that what are the similarities and difference between synecdoche and metonymy. Now let's go towards the next one, which is climax. Climax is a figure of speech where series of words or phrases or ideas are arranged in ascending order of importance. In the sentence, all the events are in sequential order. Let's look into an example of it. For example, he lost his fans, friends and family. So if you see the three words in comparison, the least important are the fans, then comes the friends and then comes the family. So the climax is used here. The words are in the ascending order. Let's see some more examples of it. The example is she came, she saw, she conquered. So you can see in this example came, saw, conquered. All these three events are in ascending order. So as it is mentioned here in ascending order, so climax is used here. Let's look into one more example of it. He watched her, he judged her, he married her. You can see in this sentence, the whole sequence is maintained. First he watched, then he judged and then he married. All three events are written in the ascending order, and so we can say that this sentence is of climax. Now let's look into the next figure of speech which is totally opposite of it, that is anticlimax. Now anticlimax is a figure of speech in which series of words, phrases or ideas are arranged in descending order of importance. In climax, these words are arranged in ascending order, while in anticlimax, these words or phrases or ideas are arranged in the descending order of importance. Let's look some of the examples of it. In this figure of speech, the reverse is done. First the last event will come, then the second event, and then the first event will come. It is in the reversal way. These kind of sentences are almost used for satire or ridicule. These kind of sentences are either intentionally or intentionally humorous. So let's look into an example of it. He lost his family, his car, and his cell phone. While looking into the sentence, you can clearly see that the most important thing is the family, which word is used first, then comes his car, and then comes his cell phone. It is in the descending order. The most important one is coming first, and then the less important, and then the least important is coming. As we are using these in the descending order of their importance, so anticlimax is used here. Let's look into some more examples of anticlimax. I die, I faint, I fall. While looking at the sentence, you may easily understand that it is in the reversal order. Actually, what would have happened? Fall, faint, and die. While it is written here in the opposite way, in the reverse way. It is used in the satire way. So we can say that it is anticlimax. Let's take another example. He married her, he judged her, he watched her. You can easily understand that the events are in the reversal sequence. Actually, the event watching should come first, then judging, and then marrying. But here it is in the reversal way. So first married, judged, and then watched is written. So it is written in the reversal way. So it is anticlimax. In the descending order it is. So our next figure of speech is antithesis. Antithesis is a figure of speech where two opposite ideas or a sentence is used to show contrasting effect. Two opposite ideas are kept here to achieve contrasting effect. It is done to show emphasis. Now let's see the examples of it. Man proposes, God disposes. See, now in this sentence we are having two opposite ideas. One is proposes, it means putting a plan forward, and the next one is disposes, meaning dismissing that plan altogether. Both the words are used here to show the contrasting effect. The actual meaning of the sentence is, people can make plans, God determines how things will turn out. So as two opposite ideas are kept together, then it is antithesis. Let's look into some more examples to understand it well. To err is human, to forgive divine. Here two opposite ideas are given. The first one, to err is human. It means as a human we make mistake. To forgive divine. It means to forgive is a divine like did. And the message in the sentence is clear that it is common to make mistake by human. And it is important to forgive people when they do mistakes. So two different ideas, two opposite ideas are kept here to show the contrasting between it. So it is called antithesis. Let's look into one more example. My loss is your profit. Here again two opposite ideas are referred. One person is having loss while another is having profit. So to achieve contrasting effect in one same sentence, two opposite ideas are kept, so it is called antithesis. Our next figure of speech is epigram. Epigram is the figure of speech where short witty sentences are used to express a general truth or comment. It is in a brief, clever and memorable statement way. Like, every child is a father. In the first look, it seems unclear and untrue sentence. But as we see deeply, if we see in deep, then it is really the true one, because every father was once a child. It is a general truth but written amusingly. Let's look in some more examples of it. If we don't end the war, war will end us. This statement is memorable. See now, if we don't end the war, war will end us. It is the truth. Let's look into one more example. The art lies in concealing art. The sentence means here the real art is making it easier and conceal or hide the fact as it's an art, but provide a simple explanation for anybody to understand it. As the sentence is having deep meaning in it, it is an epigram. The sentences which are having deep meaning in themselves, so those kind of sentences are epigram. Now let's go towards the next one, that is pun. Pun is the figure of speech which is used to play with words that have more than one meaning. It is almost used to create humorous effect. Let us see into the examples of it. How do celebrities stay cool? They have many fans. See, now the word cool here is having two meanings. One is cool means cold, while the other one is to be calm. So here the cool means calm, and the answer is also having two meanings. They have many fans. The fans means, one meaning is the fans which are circulating air to make the temperature cool, and the other meaning of fan is the admirer. So if you see this question answer, it makes confusing meaning, and that's why it's humorous. Let's see some more examples of pun. See now, why couldn't the bicycle stand up on its own? Because it was too tired. Here two tired words are used. The first meaning, it means the bicycle is having two tires. But the other one sounds that it is too tired. It means it is very tired. A person can be thinking that how can be a bicycle tired? But it is only for the fun. By using these words. Let's see in one more example. Why are teddy bears never hungry? Because they are always stuffed. Now here the word stuffed is having two meanings. First meaning is made up of the soft stuff, the filling of it. The other meaning is having the cavity filled with the sweet mixture. Here we are using the second word to create humor. So this was pun. Now let's revise. First we saw synecdoche, which is a part to represent whole thing or whole thing to represent a part, and we saw the examples of the car, hands, while other examples we saw of England won the World Cup, and the next one is can I get your number. Next we saw metonymy, in which one thing is substituted by another thing. For example, we took the crown, we use the word crown for the king. Number 3, we saw the climax, in which the series of words, phrases or ideas are arranged in the ascending order according of their importance. The next one is anticlimax, in which we saw that the series of words, phrases or ideas are arranged in the descending order of their importance. It means the third event comes first, then the second event, and then the first event. It is in the reverse way. Then number 5, that is antithesis. Antithesis is the figure of speech where two ideas are showing contrasting effect. Number 6 is an epigram. Epigram is the figure of speech where short witty sentence is used to express a general truth or comment, and it is in brief, clever and memorable statement way. Then the next one is pun. Pun is a figure of speech where we play with words that have more than one meaning, and it creates humorous effect. So here we are completing our topic of figure of speech. Hope you understood it well. You have to practice it from your textbook. The poems which are given in your textbook that you have to solve, you have to show from each line or each stanza which figure of speech is used over there, and that work you have to do in your notebook. Thank you. If you are still having any doubt, you may call me. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.